Does
Yes,
the gentleman
sir.
yield for questions? Gentleman yields.
Can you explain to me, and you said Texas, you believe, has the most uninsured people. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. How do we make that calculation? Does that include citizens, non-citizens?
We're looking at citizens, sir. This is a federal bill that helps citizens.
Do you believe that
It's Medicaid. They have to be a citizen to be eligible for this. This isn't a
you were in
partisan
Congress,
fight like
Mr.
you're bringing
Busey-
up from the back mic. I think you're losing the
Busey,
focus
if
of
you
what
were in-
Medicaid expansion is
if you
with
were
that question,
if you were in
sir.
Congress, Mr. Busey, do you believe that those people should be covered by health care as well?
I didn't hear your question.
Do you believe that people here not lawfully President of the United States should be covered by
Look,
health care?
I want to continue to have that debate with you. That is not what this amendment does.
Do you
This
believe
amendment
they
is
should have
dealing with
healthcare?
Medicaid expansion. I don't know why you're taking your partisan fight and distracting us from what this amendment does. What we're trying to do right now is take care of the citizens in your community, these working Texans that are being neglected by your failure to vote for Medicaid expansion.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Schatzline, for what purpose?
would the gentleman yield for some questions?
Does
Yes,
the
sir.
gentleman yield for questions? The gentleman yields for questions.
Representative, did you know that last year alone, the Attorney General's Office of Medicaid Fraud Control Unit recovered over $203 million of taxpayers' dollars wasted on rampant fraud in the Medicaid system?
What does that have to do with this, sir?
Oh, it has something to do with
In
it.
what
Did
way?
you
Explain
also
it to
know,
me.
Representative, did you know that there's an estimated $5 billion in Medicaid fraud in Texas right now that has not been recovered?
There's $110 billion that has been ignored by the people that have stood in the way of Medicaid expansion, of your citizens' taxes that we have sent to the federal government. I know you, Mr. Schatzline. We've known each other well. I know you care about your constituents. This is an opportunity to help them.
absolutely
This isn't-
care about
If
them.
there's fraud out there, we should go deal with that. I will stand with you on that, and we should make sure that's not
absolutely
happening.
care about them,
That's
which is
not
why-
what this amendment does.
Which is why,
Yes,
Representative,
I've
I'm
heard about
very
fraud.
upset. I've got
I've
another
heard
question.
you and I talk about fraud before.
I've got another
Members,
question.
please do not talk over each other.
Mr. Speaker,
So
I'm trying to
everyone can
answer his
understand and hear
question
the debate.
where he said, have I heard about fraud? The answer is yes, I have. And that's not okay. And we should all work to stop that. But what we should also do is take care of our citizens. And this amendment doesn't deal with fraud. And I'd love to have that conversation. If you have an amendment on fraud, let's talk about it. But let's stay on this amendment, which is expanding Medicaid in Texas. This is going to help 1.2 million Texans, many in your community, many in the community that you represent. and that we
Representative,
all
how much
represent.
is this going to cost the taxpayer?
It's going to be a net savings for the taxpayer.
How
But let
much
me
does
tell
it
you
cost?
else.
How much does it cost?
You already pay for this, sir.
But
You
how much
pay
does
for
it
this.
cost?
You pay for Medicaid expansion in
So,
Texas.
Representative, with
I think
$5
people don't
billion
understand that.
in Medicaid fraud right now, we've got people being taxed out of their home. We're not going to
sorry.
give
Did you
over
say 5 million?
$5 billion is what I said. Over $5 billion.
We're talking about
Members, please confine your remarks
billion.
to the amendment at issue.
So with
talking
$5
about
billion
$110 billion.
in $5 billion, over $5 billion in Medicaid fraud right now. We've got people being taxed out of their home. We're not giving over $5 billion in new property tax relief right now in this budget. So are you telling me that you think it is more important that we give to a system that is literally creating $5 billion in fraud, of which we did not?
Members, the gentleman's time has expired.
I'll be voting no.
Okay.
Chair recognizes Mr. Frank in opposition to the amendment.
Thanks.
Probably don't want to stand behind me on this. Ready? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'll be brief. I do just want to ask a couple things. And first, I appreciate Representative Busey so much. I know where his heart is on this. I just don't agree with him on some of the facts, but also don't agree with him that this is a good idea. First, I want to talk just about Medicaid spending in the state of Texas. 20 years ago, we were spending $19 billion on Medicaid. It was 16% of our budget. Now we are spending $73.5 billion. It is now 23% of our budget. Y'all know we're budget night. We have a balanced budget in this state, so that means 100% of that cost increase has pushed out every single other item that you care about. Education is now harder to finance because of the growth of Medicaid in this state. Roads, water, every single thing. I know this is important. Medicaid does some great things, okay? But we have really expanded dramatically the number of
Ms.
people
Rose, for
covered
what
in
purpose?
Medicaid.
Does the gentleman yield?
Does the gentleman
I'd
yield?
like to finish and then I'd be happy to.
Not
Thank
at this
you.
time.
Thank you, ma'am. So I think it's important to understand that we have gone from 2.5 million people 20 years ago to over 4.5 million people now, and that's even after the dip. That is a tremendous increase, not just in the number as the Texas population has grown, but that is also a tremendous increase in the number of people already covered by Medicaid, not to mention the cost. So in a balanced budget state, there is no question that means it pushes out everything else that you want to do in this House. I want to just mention a couple quotes. If you want the best reasons not to expand Medicaid, all you have to look at is some of the, and I apologize for making it partisan, it's a little bit partisan, but some Democrat governors. I'm going to use two quotes from Andrew Cuomo when he was governor of New York, because I believe he is spot on in what he says. He said, if we don't control Medicaid costs, there will be no money for education, no money for property tax relief, no money for economic development, no money for infrastructure. It threatens everything we do. It's Governor Cuomo. Second thing he said, the issue of Medicaid is not that Medicaid is a bad program. It is not that I want to reduce the benefits. It's just that we are spending too much money on a program that has no built-in cost management, period. I want to keep working with members of this House to make sure that we drive the cost of health care down, and I want to get coverage for people. Medicaid expansion is absolutely, in my opinion, bad policy for a bunch more reasons with that, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Ms. Rose, for what purpose?